What's up, guys? This is Hit You Good, and today we are addressing something quite concerning, and that's whether or not DICE devs are going to implement skill-based matchmaking in Battlefield 6. As you know, I've said in previous videos that skill-based matchmaking is basically creating a welfare state in gaming, and if you want to know exactly how I bridge that logic, hang around to the end. But for now, here's why this is once again making headlines and showing up in your news feeds regarding Battlefield 6. Now, Shroomy on Reddit, supposedly a Battlefield Labs tester, claims to have used multiple accounts to test out the details that he data mined from the game's files. Now, I guess he must have had a friend or someone in the test that agreed to help him out. I really don't know. But in this post, Shroomy detailed that score per minute, win-loss ratio, and input device, whether that's mouse and keyboard or controller, and several other metrics that we can't really know what they pertain to, is what will define Battlefield 6's skill-based matchmaking. Now below that, the weights for how much each of these metrics count for showed us that score per minute mattered the most, followed by win-loss ratio, and then kill-death ratio, which kind of seems odd in itself. Will players with a low score per minute be grouped together, so it's all mostly more snipers or people camping? And on the other end of the spectrum, will the high score per minute lobbies be totally sweaty with every player taking full advantage of the movement mechanics, maybe going 70-2 in a helicopter? I don't know. Now, don't get me wrong, of course there's nothing wrong with either playstyle at all, and really that's the great thing about Battlefield, is the huge diversity in gameplay styles that keeps things interesting. But if this is true and Battlefield is going the way of Call of Duty, all that Battlefield magic is just gonna end. Every match, every game will feel exactly the same as the last, just as it does in new Call of Duty games. You know, I mean, this is really what has had COD players putting their controllers down or uninstalling, because everything it's just manipulated, and you can feel it too. Everything feels manipulated. You never know if you truly did well in a match, because there's always the question that the algorithm could have just sent you an easy lobby. And if that's the case and there's uncertainty in the game, why be happy about that really good game you just had? Why think that I'm getting better? And if I'm playing my best and getting sweaty lobbies, well, it's counterintuitive. I'm going to have to change my play style to get ahead. That is, until the algorithm notices and once again puts me in lobbies with players just like me. So here's the thing. DICE devs back in the early 2010s accidentally created something we now know as only in Battlefield moments. And since then, they've failed to understand that the only way to create something like that again is honestly by accident. You can't control it. You can't manipulate it. You can't put it in your latest trailer and have people freak out, although we did, but you can't actually make that happen. You just have to create a sandbox game, give it to the players, and let them foster all of those moments. Now, sadly, they tried so hard to capitalize on that in Battlefield 2042 that it fell flat. And now with skill-based matchmaking in the room, the great era of posting insane Battlefield clips is probably over, because you won't be able to afford to not run the meta. You won't be able to afford to run some fun custom loadouts that you want to try that maybe emulates something in a movie or something from a particular military background. You won't be able to do challenges, or even worse, enjoy playing with a squad of your best friends. That's right. Call of Duty used to be this social phenomenon where you played against random people, and because the lobbies didn't get disbanded after every match because of skill-based matchmaking, you could foster relationships with those people and you could have fun. But when skill-based matchmaking came in, that all ended. So even if you have friends at school, at work, or wherever, if their skill doesn't match yours, guess what? When y'all load into that lobby, one of you is going to have a really bad day. If I have a 1.3 KD and my buddy has a 0.75, well, he's going to get roasted. He's going to spend the entire time getting wrecked and ultimately not want to play anymore. And it sucks, because I knew this day would come, that we would have to address SBMM and Battlefield 6 and the fact that the game is probably going to have it. Now, team balancers are totally fine. That's great, but the manipulative tactic of skill-based matchmaking is only creating a welfare state in the community of gaming. So now, instead of grinding out the game and intentionally putting forth, effort to get good at it, we're forced to play the same matches over and over and over again. We can't reasonably play with our friends because the game is saying, oh no, you can't play with them. You have to play with this set of people that we set up for you for your optimal gaming experience. To where we're getting punished for what used to be rewarding, and that used to be improving our skills. It's more fun to see yourself improve. However, just like our welfare system, it rewards those who would rather not. Why try to be good at the game if you're going to get punished? Just like the welfare class ruins things for everyone in real life, so too do they ruin the gaming experience for COD and future Battlefield players that actually want to put time in. All too often, think about this, all too often, millions of hardworking people put in 40, 50, 60 hours of work a week to get anywhere from a third to a half of their freaking paycheck forcefully taken from them. I know because I'm one of them. They work hard, they grind, they provide for their families, but not just that, their hard work is then mocked from the government by stealing the money that was rightfully earned from them and giving it to someone who refused to work. And that's exactly what the good players of Call of Duty and the future players of Battlefield are going to be experiencing with skill-based matchmaking. We work hard to get better at the game, we try to master the movement mechanics, we try to master the positioning, our tactics, everything. We study the meta and we become students of this game to get better. But so this is basically kind of us putting in our 40 to 60 hours a week. But of course, just want to let you know this is a metaphor, and I hope you're not actually playing video games that long. And if you are, please seek help. But every time we get a little bit ahead, AAA gaming devs wield the heavy hammer of skill-based matchmaking to knock us down a few pegs. And they say it's all for the quote-unquote common good, to assist the players who don't want to get good at the game and who greedy marketing execs really just want them to buy skins and they can pretend they're having a good time. It's the exact same thing, and it actually sounds kind of silly to say, but natural law will force more players to go to other games. That's already happened in the past, I know, because me and my friends, we swapped over to Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1. Routinely, I go back to the old Call of Duty servers. You can get them on Plutonium, where it's a lot safer and there's still a little bit of life there. But, you know, ultimately we couldn't stand the skill-based matchmaking that Activision had created in Warzone, so we left to play the older games with higher skill ceilings and a reward system that didn't revolve around buying new skins. It actually revolved around seeing our names at the top of leaderboards. It's a novel idea, for real. But in the world of TikToks and short-form content being blasted at us at unprecedented levels, the attention span of our society is sadly now it's shorter than it's ever been. If a kid can't just hop on a game and start popping heads like his favorite streamers on Twitch, they're going to put the game down and go to one that helps them at least maintain a 1.0 KD. We have to reverse this trend, and hopefully this most recent information is only pertaining to team balancing that we found in those files, but it doesn't say that. It says matchmaking. So hop on X and tweet to @Tigger, that's Tigger, aka David Serlin, and tell him we do not want skill-based matchmaking in this game. As Arrowhead taught us just last year, a game for everyone is a game for no one. So DICE has to stop chasing these trends, utilizing manipulative matchmaking techniques, and just be Battlefield. Battlefield has only in Battlefield moments. Skill-based matchmaking games don't. Battlefield encourages team play with friends. Skill-based matchmaking games don't. Battlefield offers a low skill floor and a super high skill ceiling for players to spend years honing their skills. And guess what? Skill-based matchmaking games do not. Battlefield cannot afford to return to the brain rot style gameplay that COD and other skill-based matchmaking infested games have turned to. Now, if you agree, click that like button, sub, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. Other than that, y'all have a blessed day.